Hello friends, hello professionals, and welcome to my channel, The Sea of Regulation. My name is Simone Martin, and I am going to be touching on a bit of a series for the basics to help people in relation to understanding the different components that are typically asked for during the due diligence process. And before I jump into today's content, which is going to touch on utility bills and whether they're obsolete, I'm going to get my usual disclaimers out of the way. I am a financial services regulator. I am not a lawyer, and I am not a professional advisor. And the views on this channel are definitely all my own and do not represent the views of any regulatory authority or international standard setting body. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive in. Due diligence. There's a lot to be done in relation to due diligence and a lot of reasons as to why we do due diligence in financial services and actually in relation to other businesses, DNFBPs. And if you don't know what a DNFBP is, definitely check out my videos covering what they are and why AML CFT provisions apply to them. I'll link that in the description below. But let's talk about the actual utility bills as a part of due diligence. Why would a service provider ask you after they've received your passport, your other information in relation to the business or whatever you're entering into, whether you're opening an account or getting a new insurance policy, why would they ask you for a utility bill? Now, the utility bill serves a number of purposes for due diligence, and the primary one is verification of address. But to my mind, that's kind of dated. And I personally think that in a lot of cases, utility bills may be obsolete, or they actually may not help you do the due diligence that you need to do as a compliance professional. Now, why is that? Let's unpack it. The utility bill is supposed to have the name of the customer and whatever service it is and their address. But in many parts of the world, persons may not have a utility bill in their name. And so persons are thinking a telephone bill. How many people actually have a landline these days? But you could have a mobile bill, and that's absolutely fine. But does that say exactly where you reside, especially in these dynamic times? You could be a digital nomad, still getting your utility bill at home in your home jurisdiction, but you're in the process of relocating to another jurisdiction. But because you want to maintain certain things in your home jurisdiction, that bill is continually paid, and you will still have a utility bill that someone is going to use for verification of your address, and you technically don't live there. You get what I'm saying in relation to this being possibly obsolete? Let's take other examples. So in certain situations, you may be renting an apartment or a flat, dependent on the part of the planet you're on, and the utilities may be included. So the utility bills are in the landlord's name, not in your name. And that mobile phone I spoke about, suppose you are in the C-suite and you have certain perks, and that utility mobile bill is being paid for by the company. So it's technically not in your name. So what else can be used in relation to verification of address? Because that is the purpose of the utility bill. Well, you see, in my experience, I have seen a lot of compliance manuals rest solely on the utility bill, but in the world that we live in, we actually need to branch out a bit more beyond that. I could have a utility bill in a number of countries that I've touched on, and let's think about the ultra high net worth individuals. Are you going to ask that billionaire for his utility bill? Probably not. He has homes on the West Coast, somewhere in Europe, maybe Australia, a couple other Caribbean islands that he might like to frequent, he or she may like to frequent. Where is the typical address? And how are you going to verify that? With a utility bill that is being paid by his operations, his or her operations. You get what I'm saying? You want to verify the address of that client. And utility bills, in my view, are obsolete. But you may have a differing view. And if you have a different view, I'd definitely be interested in hearing it. So please do feel free to drop it in the comments below. As it relates to due diligence and the verification of address, there are other things that I think are useful and actually more reliable in relation to your client or your customer. And if you're interested in hearing what those are, come and join me. I have a little something going on. I'll put it in the description below for compliance professionals, or if you're just compliance curious. But I'll wrap this up because this is under the series, The Basics. I need you to do some YouTube things though. Like this video, definitely give it a like. It helps the algorithms. Share with your friends, because guess what? Even if they're not working in financial services, chances are they may need a financial service, like open a bank account, or even continue to have a bank account, or insurance, or a pension. There are a number of things that you could actually be touching in relation to financial services if you don't know. But let's get back to the YouTube things. Subscribe if you haven't, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you're aware of every time I drop a video. And guys, I'm gonna end it here, and I'll see you on my next one.